people who aren't doctors, but they play one on YouTube. And gentlemen, before I begin, folks, this won't take long. At least before we get to the main event, it won't take long. All my responses to the janitor, McCain is through X, Old Fart Rants, and everybody, in fact, all my videos, most of them I've uploaded over on Upload Society as well, so if you want to contact me over there, you can. I've got all my videos over there. It's linked in my banner on my channel. Now to the main event, and I'll just put on the end of this, I'll just put a video I've already done. I responded to a guy who doesn't have any teeth. McCain is through X is having hissy fits over the fact that low-skilled labor, and it's kind of weird because McCain is through X is a 60-plus-year-old janitor, and she's low-skilled. Why would you want a bunch more low-skilled labor coming over the border? Because you're not skilled, so that would, I don't understand why McCain is through X is voting against her own self-interest, But anyways, McCain through X is having hissy fits that droves of people, 10,000 here, 10,000 there, and it's always a tiny group, 5,000 here, 5,000 there, because, if you show up at the border with illegitimate children and a sob story that means free stuff. So McCain through X has gone through quite the mental gymnastics. America's a citizen of a country of immigrants. Well, pretty much everywhere would be a country of immigrants except for Mesopotamia. So, does that mean like everybody should be able to come in? Since immigrants have gone all over the world since man was created, what's that mean? Does that mean like Australia? Well, Australia is a nation of immigrants too, aren't they? Is Japan a nation of immigrants? So what's that mean? Does that mean every country's got to open up their borders? Notice how, and if you have mentioned this janitor, correct me when you put up a video response, but I've never seen you mention Article 1, Section 1 or Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution when you have these little hissy fits over immigration. So McCain through X doesn't know much about immigration. It's a big deal now. It wasn't such a big deal under Obama. So I'm going to put up a video I've already done. Pay attention to all the data I go over. And unlike McCain through X, I don't just copy something off the television. I've noticed lately she's done a lot of videos where she waddles up to a chair and sits down. And I've got some responses to a lot of the goes over on my Upload Society channel. She'll waddle up to a chair and sit in it and read off a teleprompter, and you can tell she's reading off a teleprompter in a script because she'll do 3 sentences and then she'll bounce around. I've mentioned that before too. And then she'll do about 5 sentences and then she'll bounce over to the other side, and then so it's kind of weird. But without any further ado, I'll just put that video on the end of this. I've already done a response to Old Brown Teeth, and check that video for all the links. So I'm not going to put them up here again. But there's a lot of pertinent data, and McCain through X, if you watch that, if you can read it, there's a lot of stuff you can check out. I don't know if you can read very well. You were educated in Chicago, so maybe you read it like a 6th grade level, despite the fact you're kind of old. If you read through that, you might be a little surprised at all the illegal immigrants that Obama removed. There's a difference between return and removal. You'll learn that if you read that. You don't know that, you'll learn that. A difference between a return and a removal. You'd be surprised at all the illegal aliens Obama was removing, and all the aliens that Obama denied asylum. And Congress, I think, needs to be more in the loop on this. But again, before I begin, McCain through X. If you have mentioned Article 1, Section 8 or Article 1, Section 1, that doesn't mean you go back and edit the comments under the video and say you did it there. I want to see a comment that was posted or something you wrote under the video without editing it before today. That doesn't mean you go back and armchair quarterback it. So without further ado, let's put that video on. McCain through X's arguments. If you show up at the border with a sob story and illegitimate children means free stuff. No. I will also mention back in the 1910s and 1920s when we had a high percentage of immigrants as a percentage of the entire population. we didn't have a welfare state. So we didn't have janitors on Medicaid, and we didn't have food stamps, and we didn't have this massive welfare state, which wastes money. And we didn't have millions of kids in school where I'm paying for them to learn English. So, yeah. So, here we go. Enjoy. And McCain through X, I'll just accept your concession right now.
Hey everybody, it's Old Fart, your old buddy. How you doing?
You stupid idiot!
So it's time for another fact check on Dave, old Dentures Dave. Now, when you read what he wrote under his video, I'm not going to say any of this, I think Dave thinks that just having an autistic fit and pounding the table and throwing stuff around constitutes an argument. As Stefan Molyneux would say, not an argument. Well, you read what he wrote underneath his video, and boy, you'd think, when he wrote this, I think this guy was about ready to explode. But in the video itself, he's actually pretty calm. But again, you've got like a video that's a little over 4 minutes, and if you count a stupid little, oh, how you doing? My name's Dave. And he gets maybe 2 minutes of actual talking about the subject, and he does, 3 sentences, and he has to cut away. And then the 3 sentences and cuts away, and and it's just the same crap. But there were no references underneath this. So we're going to give Dave a little fact check, and I've had this planned for a while, but I waited to where the final figures for at least fiscal year 2016 came out. So we're going to give old Dave another fact check and another boot right in the behind because he just runs on emotion and emotional appeals and throwing a little fit, not an argument. So enjoy all this, drink it in. I've got all the, unlike Dave, I actually provide sources, so look through it yourself and enjoy another slapdown of this uneducated, unhygienic moron. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, let's hammer Dave with some facts. For fiscal year 2017, we do not yet have the totals for aliens that were returned or removed. All the links are underneath, as per usual, so you can check this out. I'm looking at tables 1, 13, 20, 33, 36, and 39. Fiscal years overlap. For example, fiscal year 2009 began on October 1st, 08, and George W. Bush was president. On 1/20/09, Oboingo became president, and the fiscal year ended 9/30, September 30th, 09. I will be calculating this in full fiscal years only. For example, George W. Bush's full fiscal years were inaugurated January 20th, 01. His full fiscal years were 2002 through 2008. Fiscal year 2002 began October 1st, 2001 and ended September 30th, 2002. Fiscal year 2008 ended on September 30th, 2008. It's impossible to determine from this literature whether naturalizations or deportations happened under which president in fiscal years that overlap. So I am only looking at full fiscal years. Keep that in mind. Table 33, aliens apprehended. See the notes. Obama, fiscal years 2010 through 2016, his administration apprehended 3,803,031 illegal aliens. That's 543,290 per year. Not bad. Bush, fiscal years 2002 through 2008, aliens apprehended 7,874,829, works out to 1,124,975 per year. Clinton, fiscal years 94 through 2000. Clinton. They apprehended 10,883,982 illegal aliens. That works out to 1,554,854 per year. He led the way by far. By far. Reagan, fiscal years 82 through 88, 8,783,366, works out to 1,254,766 per year. Not bad. Bill Clinton, yeah, there you go. Dave wouldn't know that probably. in my opinion, most of the reason we have such a small number of apprehensions under Oboingo, despite the methodology being changed in favor of more apprehensions, again, see the notes, is because the economy remained flaccid during his entire presidency. We have more than 23,000 Border Patrol agents, which is more than quadruple the number in 1990. So I don't think that solved the problem. I don't think that adding thousands more will do much good. So again, Bill Clinton did a pretty good job of apprehending. And he was a Democrat, wasn't he? Yeah, he wasn't he wasn't as insane as Oboingo. The Democrat Party has really gotten insane to think that people can just march up to the border with bastard children in tow and say, free stuff. Yeah. Table 36, aliens determined inadmissible. Data only available for fiscal years 2005 through 2016, but for what it's worth. Aliens determined inadmissible fiscal years 05 through 09, 899,938. That works out to 224,984 per year. Fiscal years 2010 through 2016. That's Oboingo. That's your Messiah Oboingo, Dave. Aliens determined inadmissible, 1,385,349. Works out to 197,907 per year. Not bad for a Democrat. He must be racist, right, Dave? Table 39. Aliens returned or remove. See the notes on difference between a removal and a return. Basically, a return is a person who would be removed, but they leave before we can give them an order to be removed. A removal is someone who is physically grabbed and said, you are not here legally. Goodbye. Basically. That's the short version. Now, let's let the cat out of the bag before I begin reading this off. Obama, if you count just removals per year, led the way by far. Did you get that? Obama led the way by far if you count removals. Just removals per year. Just ICE or whatever. And before ICE, we were still removing aliens. And before the Department of Homeland Security, we were removing aliens. So I don't know why we even need the Department of Homeland Security. It's garbage. But anyways, Obama led the way in removals per year in his full fiscal years, far more than Bush, Clinton, or Reagan. Here are the removals per year. I'll just read that off. For Obama, it turned out to 384,130. Bush, 260,501. Clinton, 118,157. Reagan, 18,824. Obama blew all their totals out of the water. Now, if you count returns and removals combined, Obama was the lowest. And I think that's because, number one, the economy was flaccid, so they weren't coming over. Let's just face it. Mexican doctors and lawyers and Guatemalan doctors and lawyers, any doctors, professionals from other countries, skilled people, unlike Dave, who is unskilled and brain dead, they aren't sneaking over the border. Now, I'm not saying everybody sneaking over the border is an unskilled idiot, but that's basically what most of them are. Now, under Obama, we weren't getting as many people coming over because the economy was stuck in a rut. And the ones that were here weren't leaving. So Obama had to go remove a bunch of them. So the few that were here, well, I shouldn't say few, but the ones that were here weren't leaving, so he had to go get them. Not as many were returning. But if you count returns and removals en masse, Clinton was first, over 11 million. Get that? Clinton was first, over 11 million, and over 10.1 million of them were returned. So Bill Clinton scared 10,177,849 illegal aliens into returning to their country of origin, or at least leaving the U.S. Not bad for a Democrat, huh? I guess Bill Clinton wasn't nearly as crazy on another issue as Obama. When you consider Bill Clinton is very close to what would be called lukewarm, or actually whatever middle of the road means compared to Obama. Bush was second, if you count returns and removals, 8,790,453. Reagan was third with 7,416,388, and Obama brought up the rear, 3,970,893. But if you count just removals per year, nobody comes close to Obama. Not bad for a racist Democrat, right, Dave? You knew that, didn't you, Dave? And again, returns and removals combined, Bill Clinton was way ahead of everybody. Over 11 million. He was more than 2 million ahead of Bush. Not bad for a Democrat. You didn't know that, did you, Dave? Dave, I'm going to clue you in on something. You're stupid. You are a dumbass. Quit making videos. You are an idiot. Every time you open your mouth, you shove your feet in it. Table 20. Petitions for naturalization filed, persons naturalized, and petitions for naturalization denied. Oh, boingo. Petitions filed, 5,667,374. Persons naturalized, 4,988,204. 88.01% of all petitioners were naturalized. Petitions denied, 491,655. 8.67% of all petitions denied. Naturalizations as a percentage of the entire U.S. population, 0.22%. Bush, and again, see the note on table 20 that I'm putting up, because the totals don't jive, and you'll wonder why. You'll wonder why the percentages don't jive. Well, that'll explain it. Bush, petitions filed, 5,129,208. Persons naturalized, 5,129,208 were petitions filed. Persons naturalized, 4,586,117. 89.41% of all petitioners naturalized. Petitions denied, 774,652. 15.1% of all petitions denied. And that's where in some years, the number of people naturalized was above the petitions, so I assume there's some lag there, but there's nothing I can do about it. So it might have been some people petitioning under Obama that it got pushed over under Clinton and got pushed into the Bush administration. They denied it. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm just putting the numbers up. Naturalizations as a percentage of the entire U.S. population, 0.22%. So less than Obama. But Bush still, under Bush, almost 4.6 million people were naturalized. And he's an evil Republican. Those people who say this country is not open enough, I really, one of the most annoying thing about Gary Johnson, as an aside, I won't get off track on this very far. The most annoying thing about him was his open borders. I'm not open borders, but to people who say, it's tough to get in here, oh, baloney. Baloney. Clinton. Petitions filed, 6,352,650. Persons naturalized, 4,736,457. Only 74.55% of all petitioners were naturalized. Again, there's Bill Clinton, the hardliner. Much lower percentage of all petitioners were naturalized under Clinton than Bush and Obama. Oh, there's Bill Clinton, the hardliner. Petitions denied under Clinton, 1,364,204. 21.47% of all petitions were denied. Bill Clinton, the hardliner. Naturalizations as a percentage of entire U.S. population for that time frame, 0.25%. Reagan. Petitions filed, 1,743,119. Persons naturalized, 1,501,253. 86.12% of all petitioners were naturalized. Again, Bill Clinton looks like the hardliner. Petitions denied, 31,192. Only 1.78% of all petitions denied. So Bill Clinton looks completely like the hardliner there. That's the dirty little secret. Bill Clinton, when he was, I'm not saying if he was president again, hypothetically, I'm not saying he'd do the same things. But I'd have to say, in my honest opinion, Bill Clinton was a much better president than the last two we had. By far. I'll put it this way. Bill Clinton worked a lot better with a Republican Congress than Bush did. So, yeah, can we have Bill Clinton back, please, with some Republicans that are sane? Thank you. That's what I want for Christmas. I'd like to have Bill Clinton back with a Libertarian Congress. That would be a good Christmas present. Can I have it? I guess I can dream. Under Reagan, naturalizations as a percentage of the entire U.S. population, 0.09%. So it has gone up. Naturalizations as a percentage of the U.S. population since Reagan left office has gone way up. So you didn't know that either, did you, Dave? Stick that in your pipe and poof it, dumbass. Table 13, refugee arrivals. Data only available for fiscal years 1980 through 2016. Here, stingy old stupid U.S. And for refugees, I take the same tact that I do with wars abroad. It's none of our business unless we're attacked directly. So in other words, nation building in Afghanistan was a mistake. The entire Iraq war was a mistake. Occupation of the Crimean Peninsula, never authorized by Congress, big mistake. Libya, Syria, big mistake. So I take the same tact. If a civil war breaks out in some third world dunghole, it's not our job to go over there, unless they are a direct threat on our national security somehow. It's not our job to go over there and bring all these refugees in. Do you think we bring in 1 million Syrian refugees? Do you think the labor force participation rate is going to skyrocket? No, it's not. So, no, I don't want to be the refugee destination, and no, I don't want to spread democracy. Enough of that soapbox. I'm sorry. I apologize. For what it's worth, fiscal years 1980 through 2016, we took in 2,966,318 refugees, which averages 80,170 per year. Obama's average per year, fiscal years 2010 through 16, 68,949. That's a lot less. Only 482,649 during his presidency. Full fiscal years, he averaged 68,949 a year. So you'll see that since Reagan assumed office, the number of refugees we take in has dropped significantly. Bush only averaged 44,438 per year. Clinton was the only one above the average, 84,269 per year. Reagan only averaged 71,509 per year. So Obama was below Reagan and Clinton by a long shot. And Obama's average was well below the average from 1980 to 2016. So, yeah, you'll see there. So I guess maybe was Obama racist? Was he? So, per table, here's in that last one. Last one. Table 1. I'm sorry about that. Table 1, persons obtaining lawful permanent resident status. Lawful permanent residents, LPRs from here on, are persons who have been granted lawful permanent residence in the United States. They are also known as green card recipients. Fiscal year 2010 through 2016, Barry Obozo, persons obtaining lawful permanent resident status, LPRs, 6,346,272, works out to 906,610 per year. LPRs is a percentage of U.S. population in that time frame, 0.28%. Bush, Obama was a little over 6.3 million. Bush, 7,268,708, works out to 1,038,386 per year. So Bush outdid Oboingo. Barry must be a racist, right, Dave? LPRs is a percentage of U.S. population under Bush, 0.35%. So Bush outdid Oboingo. Clinton, 5,376,572, works out to 768,081 per year. LPRs is a percentage of U.S. population, 0.28%. So there's Bill Clinton, the hardliner again, not letting as many people in. You know, the U.S., we don't let enough people in here. Don't work. I basically got closed borders, according to some kooks. No, we don't. Evidently, we're open enough that 1 million people can get in every year under Bush and become LPRs. Clinton. Oh, we already did Clinton. Yeah, Clinton, he's that hardliner who deported, had over 11 million people leave the country during his presidency because he scared the crap out of them, thinking they're going to get arrested. Reagan, 4 million 34,898 LPRs during his 7 full fiscal years. That works out to 576,414 per year. LPRs is a percentage of the U.S. population, 0.24%. So, Bush led the way there. Obama was second. Bill Clinton was a distant third, and Reagan was an even more distant fourth. So, there's some surprising things there. Again, Obama led the way in removals per year of illegal aliens, and that's because most of them didn't want to leave, and part of the reason, the economy stunk, so they weren't coming. If there's no jobs, they're not going to show up. You don't see people pouring into Guatemala by the millions. You don't see people pouring into Sri Lanka by the millions, and if they are, they're really desperate. You don't see people streaming over the North Korean border for jobs because there are no jobs. So under Obozo, it slowed down because the economy stunk. His entire presidency, the economy was limp as a boned fish, to use a Lord of the Rings term. But he did a good job of removing them. And again, removals per year during his presidency were a lot higher than anybody else. And so I guess that makes him a racist, right, Dave? And then Bill Clinton, you look through the data, and Bill Clinton was more of a hardliner. Bill Clinton wasn't as crazy, nearly as crazy as Obama. So there's some actual data for you with links, which in contrast to Dave's stark raving lunacy and frothing at the mouth insanity, I win again, Dave. Every time, everything I choose to engage you in, you will lose. So again, it was a pleasure beating you down. Have a nice day, and don't thank me now for the facts, idiot.